Hi Goobers! Today we're going to be watching Bricky's introduction to Warhammer armies. It was a really informative video. This VOD's getting posted just a little bit late because I had other VODs to post, VODs that were being broken up into smaller videos. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey. I am working on my review of False Gods right now, and that should actually be out sometime this week, provided I can edit it fast enough. Thank you so much. Enjoy the video.
Ways of collecting the army, as in not only price-wise, but how many models you're going to need, how new or old the model scopes are, and we're going to be going over the play styles of each army respectively. Are they melee? Are they shooting? Are they a little bit of both? Elite armies with only 20 models on the battlefield, or a horde army?
Oh, this is what I needed. Okay.
On the battlefield. We're going to be discussing all of those, what each army is about, and give you at least a decent run-through of every single faction to allow you to make the conscious and intelligent choice on which army you want to play.
Okay, you guys were like, this video is a little outdated. This is literally everything I need.
If you want to get into the tabletop of Warhammer 40,000. But first,
even if it's outdated, I think it's info I would want.
So I own an absolute boatload of wall art all across my house I received from cons. And so when I was contacted by Displate to sponsor this video, it was like an immediate yes. Anyway, I wanted to show you the ones I got because Displate is the sponsor for this video. The first one is a wonderful one from the Coen brothers, No Country for Old Men. This is probably my favorite movie of all time because I am a messed up human being and I like the dark, depressing shit. However, this one, I love it. It's very simplistic and it shows off this.
Dude, Bricky's not gonna watch this video, but Bricky, if you ever watch this video, please play Desperation by Jason Morningstar. Also, please play 1,000-Year-Old Vampire by Tim Hutchings. I would run Desperation by Jason Morningstar for you, 100%. It is such a good game. It is so depressing. It's like, oh, it's so good. I know I've talked about it before, but oh, you would like it so much. Those two guys, Jason and Tim, are just, they're depressing little, they love their little depressing little stories. They're so great. I've gotten to talk with both of them and they like that. They like that shit a lot. So, anyway, yeah, Bricky, you should play Desperation. I'll run it for you. It's so good.
Simplistic poster art that I tend to enjoy a lot. Now, past that, I actually got one for my mother because she is a huge Stephen King fan. So I got this fantastic
9th edition
Pennywise one to go along with it. And the third one I got actually was from fellow YouTuber Vtuber. You may know him. He did Dark Souls content and, well, From Software content in general. And he has, I can't show you it right now because I got the extra large version because I wanted the big one of his. It is a absolute, like, gorgeous piece.
I've watched
just
Rocky
as
before.
nice looking in real life as I expect him. Now, it come to my surprise that after I order 3 separate disc plates to go along with the sponsorship, I immediately receive 1, 2, 3, 4,
somebody
5
said it was nice.
extra ones.
I want
and
wisdom.
Then change. And I kind of start realizing why they wanted a Warhammer video so much. Orcs. Gotta have orcs. Sisters of Battle. We'll be talking plenty about them today. Angels of Death in all their glory.
These are so
More
cool.
Angels of Death in all their glory.
He's really
and
selling me on
Drukhari,
this.
I don't know what this is. Is it an Archon? It might be an Archon. I don't play Drukhari, but obviously Dark Eldar. I need the spikes.
He's like, I don't fuck with that.
I love the fact that you can just slap it onto your wall with a magnet with no fuss, and especially for someone who was renting a place, and I know a lot of you have had those experiences with landlords where you try to hang up wall art, you put a nail into the wall, and they're like, oh,
dude, he's gotten much better at his ad reads, but this isn't bad.
Hole I see
Not
right
that I'd
there?
be any
That's
good at it, but
$300 out of your security deposit, kid. So
yeah, I'm just hoping to
very
get the
much,
basic
Displate, for
scope of
sponsoring
how
this video.
to
I would
choose
highly
armies
recommend
and
checking
work
them
with
out.
them.
They make absolutely fantastic stuff.
I think it'll be
check
good
them
for
out.
that.
They're in the description. And let us continue with the video, starting off with a couple terminology we should learn before we actually get super deep into it. First things first, there's a thing called Forge World. Forge World is actually a lore thing with the Adeptus Mechanicus. However, what it is actually a partner to Games Workshop. Forge World makes these kind of custom minis that aren't in the codexes specifically. However, you can use them and field them in your games. They're just generally expensive, kind of a little bit weirder. They're a little bit more bizarre, and sometimes like fan-made creations and such. But Forge World is like a side company.
Not anymore.
That makes I might mention them a few times.
Friendship with Forge World ended?
They're not used a ton, but they are something that you can use. Next, I want to tell you about hitting numbers. So if I ever say something like, oh, this army hits on 3s or 4s or 5s, what I'm saying is if they hit on 3s, that means if you roll a d6 and you throw it out there, if you get a 3, 4, 5, or 6, anything 3 or higher, then you hit your shot. You've landed onto your target. If I say they hit on 4s, it's 4 and up. 5s, 5 and up.
Mean it to beat it.
And finally, we have things called stratagems. I'm going to mention those a few times. Stratagems are like special abilities you can use after having a pool of command points that you get for building your army, and you can kind of dole those out, these special abilities, stratagems, as you wish. You ever played Command and Conquer, Red Alert 3, or perhaps Kane's Wrath? My personal favorite was always Kane's Wrath. You know those little abilities on the side of the map? It's like those. Let's start off with the #1 best army you should collect for a new player, Space Marines. Before we get into tactics, before we get into how they play, I want to remind you all of the most important rule, the golden rule of collecting Warhammer. You will always have a better time with the army whose lore you like and design you prefer. Always
rule of cool. We've learned that. Rule of cool.
If you like undead Egyptian space robots that have enslaved gods as weapons, buy the damn Necrons. I don't care if Necrons are S tier or F tier, buy the damn Necrons, okay? If you love...
This is the first game that I've ever encountered where this was the mentality, and I find it so interesting. Because, like, having just watched a bunch of Wolfie VGC's content where, like, your team and who is on it is so important, like, this is a 180. Complete 180. But it's really cool. It's, I really like that. I mean, unless you are Wolfie VGC, at which point what the other players are playing doesn't matter because you're just going to perish song them. Will you be competitive? No, but it's better to have fun than to be a meta lover. Yeah. Understood.
Viking aesthetic and you love Space Marines, get the damn Space Wolves. I don't care if they're S tier or F tier. Get the army that you love the lore and the design of first. Nothing sucks more than playing a meta army that some people might not even want to play you against because you're going super power gamer and having to paint and create an army that you don't like.
Okay, like, yes, Wolfie does play what he wants, but he's also Wolfie. I mean, have you seen him? The man radiates energy. He has an aura that is unbeatable. It is crazy. All right? If he looked at me, I would melt as a human being. I don't know in what way, but I would melt. He just has that big of an aura. And so, like, he's allowed to play his fun little pig. Everybody else has got to stay with the meta. That's not actually true. You should play whatever you want in Pokemon tournaments, but... Listen, I don't know. I have not codified my feelings for Wolfie VGC yet. I don't know how I feel about the man. Seems like a nice guy. Seems very autistic in a fun way. Complimentary, but you've seen people waste thousands of dollars on stuff they don't resonate with. That sounds awful. Oh, that sounds awful. Ash, I'm gonna try and get one man first. That's our goal. One man. He's also the only... Well, I know Small Ant. Does Small Ant count? I also know the guy who does the Nuzlocks. He got pushed out of events? He keeps making videos about how he keeps going to events and doing stuff. But, I don't know. Literally waifu over meta, unless waifu is meta mentality based. Yeah. So true. Oof. Oof. Man collection. I have always kind of had an internet man collection, but not many of them have just been they've had Big Brother energy, you know? Northern Lion, Markiplier, Germa. They have Big Brother energy. I'm gesturing with my hands as if you can see them. I still have not gotten used to not being able to do that. Anyway.
Play the army you think is the coolest. Golden rule. Okay, Space Marines. So the poster boys of Warhammer are our first
remember
faction
that she
today.
wants to smooch the brick.
No, stop. Why we gotta out me here, okay? I already said I'd run a game of desperation for the man. I thought that might have gotten it across. Oh.
And I know when I said that the best army to collect, all the new players are like, oh God, not the Space Marines, the generic ones. And all the veteran players are going to say, oh God, not more Space Marine players I got to deal with. And the tournament players are already ready to hire a hitman to kill me. But I'm sorry, I know, I agree, Space Marines are, whew, right now, but they really are the best army. If you are a new player, Space Marines are your best bet. They are the best army to collect if you are a new player, and let me tell you why. Number one, Space Marines got all the lore. They got a monopoly on lore. They easily have the most fleshed out backgrounds of any of the characters or factions in Warhammer. Space Marines have the most books. Space Marines are a huge part of the Horus Heresy. Just Space Marines will always have the most, and they have the most depth to them. Number two, Space Marines are very easy to paint, especially for new players. When you get Space Marines,
Ash said, what I'm hearing is May only runs games of desperation for people she wants to smooch. Okay. I am whatever the TTRPG version of a Pillow Princess is. I do not want to run a game. I want to role play. I don't want to have to deal with getting a bunch of people together and making them, like, you know, what, like, do their stuff. I want to be pampered. I want a DM to DM for me. I don't want to deal with it. It's called role play, not role work. Thank you so much, Big Salt Baby. You have got it. You understand it. So if I offer to DM a game for somebody, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. That's coming from the heart, all right? That's coming from a place of me really wanting you to experience a game that I love. So hard that I will DM it for you. Now, I did forget to mention that Desperation is a game without a game master. It is a GM-less game. But I would show him how to play it. I would run Picket Line Tango for him too. I would do that, you know? I would run Picket Line Tango. No, it seems like other people like GMing. It's just I don't play D&D, you know? I don't play D&D, you know? I play other things. So, like, I'm willing to GM a GM-less game for you. That's the kind of dedication I'm bringing to the table. That's the kind of drive, the power that I'm coming to the table with. I told you guys I would play a game of Dungeons and Dragons with Bricky. I find him interesting enough as a human being that I would play a game of Dungeons and Dragons with him. And you guys know that's a big deal for me. Many of you know that's a big deal for me. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. It's objectively an okay game, but there are 20 million other games to play. So. What is it? You know, I would run a game, I would run many GM-less games. Any of the many GM-less games that I know, I would facilitate them, because you can also facilitate them, you know? That's a thing. That's a thing. So, all right, we'll get back to it. You guys took me so off track.
You have a ton of variety of chapters, and they all have a ton variety of colors. And they're also pretty easy. Space Marines are also very large, or at least larger than normal, so their canvas size is much bigger. Smooth armor, much easier to paint, especially their vehicles. And the paint schemes are easy. Ultramarines, blue. White Scar, white, Imperial Fist, yellow, Salamanders, green. It's extremely easy to paint Space Marines, and for a new player, I would highly recommend them for that specific part, because the painting and building is a massive part of this hobby. Number 3, Marines are always getting new models. They are always getting equal attention from Games Workshop. Even if they have just been updated, they will get updated again and again.
Okay, you guys do know that when I say things like I would play Dungeons and Dragons with Bricky, this is a bit. Do we understand that I'm saying this in essence? This is a way of, oh, how do I explain this? Okay. Gather around, my neurodivergence. Come here. What I'm doing is using that as an example of the fact that I find him to be an interesting human being, right? This is the way that I'm expressing that, is by saying that I would do something that I often would not do. Are we on the... Yeah?
For the bit.
For the bit. Right. Thank you guys so much for understanding. So when you say things like, I doubt he'd do that, he's too busy. That's not the point, babes. That's not the point. It's a metaphor. It is a metaphor. Pull the metaphor alarm. No, 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 no. Do. We don't got it. We don't got it. Too late. I didn't get that you're giving an example and DM'd him about starting a D&D campaign. He'd like desperation more. He'd like desperation more. You should just play Desperation by Jason Morningstar. Metaphor out of Meta 5.
Again and again, and the Harlequins and Dark Eldar players are crying in a corner, but we don't care about them because I got a new Primaris Lieutenant and he's got a skull shield. I don't know. They're always getting new models, and while it might be a little excessive at times, they will always be updated and your rules will always be changing, and therefore it keeps it very fresh if you're interested in playing them. Number 4, you have a vast amount of data sheets.
So when he is talking about Space Marines, he means all of the Space Marines that are still loyal to the Emperor, right? All of the, what are they called? The little groups. I know they're not called factions.
Yes.
Podcasts. Okay, cool. Cool. That, I want loyalists. Chapters. Thank you. Chapters. Loyal chapters. Got it. Okay, helpful. Thank you.
And units at your disposal. See, in a codex, you have a part, after all the lore of it, after some of the keywords and art pieces and stuff, you have the data sheet section where it goes over all of your units and what they do and their stats and everything, their special rules and so on. And when you get to that spot, however many units an army has depends on, well, how many pages of data sheets is it. Take the Adeptus Custodes. They have a very small amount of units, and their standard codex of data sheets is only 11 pages long. Sisters of Battle, however, a little more, medium force, they have 19 pages of data sheets. The Imperial Guard, they have a much larger amount of data sheets because they're such a large army. They have 39 pages of data sheets. Space Marines, 56 pages of data sheets for different kinds of units. It's a little bloated at times because of the amount of characters and stuff, but still, they are all over the place. Their variety is endless, and it is being even more updated and added as time goes on. Which brings me to number 5, and the most important of them all. Space Marines use every phase of the game. See, in Warhammer, there are phases in each turn. We're just getting into 9th edition, so we're getting something called the command phase soon, which is fine. But then we have the movement phase, psychic phase, shooting phase, the charge, fight, and then morale phase. Now, the last 3 are kind of all packed into one, if I'm being perfectly honest, but the main thing is that a lot of armies
so they have pared it down since the last edition.
Grey Knights are very big in the psychic phase.
Yeah, because I know they're like, okay, so let me see if I can remember. It's command, charge, it's command, charge, move, shoot. Is that it? Those are the 4 phases? Or is there a 5th phase? Oh, I was wrong? I know that there are those 4, not in that order. Command, move, shoot, charge, fight. Okay, the fact that shoot and fight are not the same, that's going to take my brain a second. Command, move, shoot, charge, fight. Yep. Fight is melee. Okay, understood. And I know that the psychic phase has now been pulled into the shoot phase, correct? I remember someone saying that. Okay.
While Tau don't have any psychers, and they won't even use that phase, but they've got really damn good shooting. However, they don't have any melee, so they're not going to be using the charge phase, whereas, say, Slanesh Demons will use the charge and psychic phase plenty, but they won't be doing any shooting of, like, any kind, pretty much. The Marines, they will use every single phase, and you can't get good at the game and get good at the phases unless you're able to use all of them. And that's where Space Marines really shine. You can play them however you want in any kind of role. See, if you are running, let's say, an Iron Hands or Imperial Fist army, these are both shooting-based armies, but you can still have good melee. Where if you wanted to play a more melee-based army like Space Wolves or Blood Angels, you'd still have good shooting units. You could still do plenty in the shooting phase. That's the most important part. Space Marines will use every single phase, and they are very, very good at it. So that is the main 5 reasons why you should be playing, or at least you should try.
Okay, so I know I'm not very far in this video, but I still think the list that I made yesterday, God tier list. What was that website that we went to? Yeah. So, if you guys weren't here yesterday, I built an army. Yeah, so we've got a 1,000-point army, and I have Fulgrim, a Demon Prince of Slanesh, 3 Flawless Blades, 6 Noise Marines, and a Chaos Land Raider. I still think that this, you know, we've got a lot of variety here. We've got a man that is really hard to kill. We have another man that's really hard to kill. Then we got like 9 dudes, and we've got a car. You know? Like, what else could you want? I was told that it was a bit of a middle finger that I was giving folks. If I were to bring this list to a table. But yeah, I do understand that next time when I build a list, I might consider that I am playing against someone. Perhaps I will consider that. I am there to have fun. But I did just choose the things that sounded cool to me. I did go by the rule of cool when building this list, and it does seem like there's a little bit more to learn about than just rule of cool, and perhaps you should consider not bringing extremely high point total minis to the game. Wow, we have a hype train. Exciting. 300 guardsmen versus 1 demon primarch kind of deal. Yeah. Well, that's what we were talking about so I think we've got a few more folks in here. We are doing a chat versus me game of Warhammer 40k. If you want more details on it, you can go in the Discord. I know I've repeated myself a few times about this, but I'm super excited about it and would like to have folks join up. So if you want to learn more about it, we have channels in the Discord about that specifically. So, what do you mean others get mad if I bring an army of demon princes for a chaos army? I don't know. I don't know enough about this. Hi, welcome on in, Meister. So, honestly, at 1K, that list genuinely isn't as overpowered as it seems at first. There's a lot of power there, but not really stacking up on the best available. Okay. Be as toxic as you want. It can't be worse than Titus's new rules versus any melee heavy army. I would like to learn about that because I think that would give me a better perspective, because I feel like I've been trying to think about how to approach learning Warhammer as a game, and I think there are a few different avenues that I can use, and one of them is just by learning little bits and pieces that aren't necessarily like a streamlined version of learning, if that makes sense. Titus ignores death in melee and heals on a backswing any amount of times per game? Excuse me? I don't know anything about Warhammer, but that does not sound okay, dude. That does not sound okay. You have to roll for it? Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Oh. The roll is 2 up? Sentence that man to death by missile barrage. Mods, blow up Titus. Mods, blow him up. He has to be on melee for it to trigger, and you must roll a 2+ and kill something for it to happen, so it's good. I am a knight player? I'm a big Slanesh girly, what can I say? 5'7" short? Excuse me? I am tall. I'm tall for a woman. The average height of a woman is 5'4". Oh my gosh. What's my chat made up of? Giants? Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Well, I'm a gnome? I'm a gremlin. You're 6 foot? Wow. Tall for a woman? What about foxes? Yeah, I'm definitely tall for a fox. You guys, most of you guys are 6 feet or what? Okay, but if I brought those of you saying 6 foot to a ruler, how many of you would be 5'11"? Dude, I've never been called short in my life. What is going on? I feel like I'm being gaslit. What is going on right now? 5'7" is not short.
can fit in your front shirt pocket and you can take her on adventures.
God. All right, somebody redeem Pocket. Oh, I don't even think Pocket May is still on the. All right, new goobers, I'll introduce you to something. Nobody redeem Model Roulette. I'm about to change the model, and it will mess up a lot if we cross streams. So. Bum, 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 bum. I'm gonna show you guys Pocket May. This is Pocket May. Small gremlin May, her truest form. I drew and rigged this. I'm a little goober. Let's see. She doesn't have a tongue out thing though. I'm gonna turn on the music for a second. Aww, thanks. This is not my actual height. Once again, 5'7" is not. Throw it. Oh! This form is also, no, this form is not also 5'7". You guys are absolute goobers. I can take my entire body off. Is that cool? I can have little fox ears. No, don't say that, Joe. Don't invite them in. Most of the heights in the forehead, that's very true, actually. Can I get it to switch? Yeah, I can. Yeetable. What? No, no one said those numbers in order. 5'9"? Your wife is 5'3"? That's average height. It would make me even short. Guys, I'm not short. I'm not short. I don't know how to tell you. I'm 5'7". I'm not short. Oh, you guys are killing me. You might see legs. Watch out. Wow, our streamer Gremlin May reveals actual height, and it may surprise you. I'm gonna get back to the video. No, I hit the wrong button. Why did it do that? You what? Oh, from seeing the legs? Legs? Truly a Slanesh player. Oh, this is all going in the YouTube video as well. YouTube viewers, I am not short. Please tell my Twitch chat I am not short in the comments below. If you say that 5'7" is short, I will yeet you. I will yeet you so hard. I'm not tall, and I'm tall for a woman, being 5'7". Do I still feel like the smallest person ever standing next to my 6'4" brother? Yes. But when you grow up with a really tall dude in your family, it's like you learn that anybody over like 6'1" makes you feel real small, you know? Every guy on YouTube is at least 6'2" as well. Am I right, YouTube guys? Nodders. Twitch chat, go to YouTube and call her short. Thanks. No. Oh my gosh. Killing me. Yeah, I'm so tall. Yeah, my brother is an absolute unit. He used to play offensive line. So, like, he's not just a tall guy, he's a very thick guy. Very, like, buff. You think of yourself as short because a bunch of your friends are, like, 6'2" to 6'4"? Yeah, see, 5'4", 5'3" and below. He played football. He does go to the gym nowadays. He used to do CrossFit. He tried to get me into CrossFit, but I just wasn't into it. Okay, anyway, I gotta get back to this video. You guys got me so off topic because you called me short. Oh my god.
Try collecting Space Marines, and I know I don't need more Space Marines in tournaments, but it is the best decision. They're good to paint, They're good to collect, they're always getting updated, they got tons of units, they use every phase, and you can tailor them however you'd like. Plus, and this is kind of down the line, but eventually after playing them enough, you might understand which army you'd want to collect second. If you start collecting a little bit of Space Marines, you start realizing, oh wow, I really think I'd prefer having more models on the table, or I wish I had tougher models. Then you can go for Tyranids or then Adeptus Custodians. It helps you figure out your second army a lot better. If you're a new player, you want to get interested in it, just do this. Go online, get yourself either, or check eBay, because there's tons of offhand Marine stuff on eBay. Get yourself a pack of Intercessors or maybe a tactical squad. I'd say Intercessors because they're more modern, they're newer and more meta, and they're bigger for better paint canvases. Put them together with some glue, get some paint on them, try them out.
Is it so wrong of me to want to watch a little bit of Bricky on my stream? Huh? Is it so wrong of me?
Try getting into the game that way. I think it'd be a pretty smart and
to watch my comfort video guy.
And Space Marines just really are one of the better choices right now. Okay, whew. Now that I'm done sucking as much Marine dick as your brain, let's move on to the rest of the armies. And
did he just call out Keeler? Did he just call out Euphrates Keeler? Are you kidding me? I understood that reference. Oh no, it's an Eldar. Dang. You know who that is. It's not a spoiler. What did he say? Okay, well, I'm cutting that out of the video. I've never been wrong in my life. Well, okay, I think Keeler is very into the Space Marines, which is why I thought that. So anyway, I got so excited. I thought I understood a reference. Hi, Barley. Hi. So good to see you. Gremlin gaslights herself into believing she knows the lore. She doesn't. Guys, I read a book. I read a singular book, and I feel like I should know everything. Wow. Yaman has an elder goth mommy girlfriend. Based. 1 out of 336. Oh. Yeah. I mean, isn't that a lot more than many fans do? Not to pat myself on the back. I can't even do that bit, dude. That was too adjacent to gatekeeping, and I wouldn't do that, you know? Genuinely. She used to be a Drakari too, so imagine what they get up to. Wow. Elder Goth Mommy GF, they had one conversation where they didn't kill each other. Wow. Yeah. Keeler is the Emperor's biggest fangirl. That's true. I just figured she might have it in for the... I mean, when she photographs the Space Marines, she seems to really like them, you know? The fanfic went wild. I wondered about the fanfic. I haven't looked into it. Maybe I should. I know how to navigate AO3. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Oh, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome on in. Can I call you what should I call you? Maystige? Is that how it's said? Wow. One of the people recommending Rogue Trader to me was very keen that I know you can romance a Sister of Battle or a Drakari. I would romance a Drakari so hard, dude. They probably, I don't know. I don't know if I'd romance one, but can't romance the Sister of Battle. That's good to know. I have no idea. Oh yeah, true core. I heard that. Oh, you guys are like, we can't romance the sister. It's depressing. I mean, one pleasant conversation with a woman is basically the 40K equivalent of a corn scene. Yeah. Well, although I will say, Mercedes had a lot of nice conversations with Loken. So, whew, buddy, that was intense. However you want, the fun part of that nickname is that almost everyone pronounces it differently. All right, gotcha, Mace. The VA even said, "Why can't we romance me?" Aww. Dude, are they just like, is Games Workshop just puritanical? Let us fuck, Games Workshop. Let us fuck, please. I'm begging you. They let us do it in Baldur's Gate and we loved it.
Sisters canonically can get married and have families, but the one in Rogue Trader has no interest in that.
That sucks. Ugh. The line is, there is only war and not there's only romance. Oh. For a grimdark setting, they are very say-so. Clothes on, lights off, knees on the floor to pray to the God Emperor. Beloved by all. She's replaced by rats? I want her back. That's true, Blonde. They were really revolutionary. Hi, Pat. Okay. Reminds me of my fave random 40k fact. There is an in-universe romance novel called My Wish to Generate Children with You is only exceeded by my devotion to him. That's so good! Whoever wrote that needs like a raise times 50. Oh, I want that tattooed on my body. That's so incredible. What? What? Oh, give me them babies, but leave some room for the Emperor. Oh, thank you so much, homie. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm excited to read it. We may end up bundling a few of them together, but the thank you. That's a huge compliment. It's not a real book, it's just in a book. Yeah. I mean, but that sounds so good. Slanesh is in prison basically, and all the other Chaos faction oh, see you later, Ash. Is a Skaven under the Great Horned One. Ah. Do we need protection? No, the Emperor protects. Ah. I feel like that tattoo would get confused for a normal religious tattoo. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really get it, but I'd get a temporary tattoo of that for sure. Everybody say bye to Ash. Bye to our new mod. Adios, thank you so much. See you later. Slanesh in Horning Jail? Well, you better put me in there too, brother. Just kidding. All right. Let's get back to it.
And my personal favorite army
Get
at
it
the
on
current
a
moment,
t-shirt, that's
the
good.
Imperial Guard or the Militare.
If only I knew a guy who did merch.
The Imperial Guard are my main army. They are what is known as a gunline horde army. Whereas Orcs and Tyranids have a horde army that has shooting but it's more melee based, the Guard is going to be running 60 to 100 infantrymen, support walkers, artillery batteries, aircraft, drop troops, tanks, bigger tanks. The Guard is all about just blistering firepower. Now, however, the downside to this is that the Guard, while well-trained, are only 4-up well-trained. They hit on 4s, and they also do not have very good survivability. Guard stuff tends to be rather fragile. They very rarely have any special saves to keep them from taking any damage. Most of their stratagems aren't based around survivability, but in fact more firepower. Guard don't shoot amazing with their 4-up accuracy, but they make up for that with just sheer amounts of numbers of shots. I don't care if my tank hits on 4s when I've got fucking 3 of them. If the Marines are like the pristine Swiss Army knife where they can do anything and they have a little tool for every situation, Guard are like a Swiss Army knife that's about 10 times as big and attached to a big wooden stick that you just beat the shit out of people with. Your units are squishy, they don't hit great, but you've got so many of them that you just take people out by drowning them in gunfire.
Your dudes are just bubble wrap for the tanks and artillery.
It's a little bit of a mixed bag. Their models are a bit older than I'd like. I personally think that they could use a decent amount of updates. They do get updated plenty rules-wise, but since they've got so many different kinds of units and so many Forge World options, a lot of them are a bit old and are showing their age. As for collecting them in the money side, they're pretty expensive. You're going for a horde army, so you're going to have tons of models on the playing field. That being said, I still do love them. I love their lore and their design. I love the large swaths of infantry, and I personally think they are pretty fun, if maybe not the greatest army as a main army. The Adeptus Mechanicus are the war cult of Mars. They are very weird, and I've been over how weird they are plenty before, but they are probably one of the wackiest armies in the game, maybe along with Gene Stealer cults. The Adeptus Mechanicus have a lot of really weird back and forth styles when it comes to their gameplay. They're mainly a shooting army. I'd say they're about 75% shooting, 25% melee. However, they do have a couple dedicated melee units that can hurt pretty bad, but they're much lower on the tier list.
I do really like how these guys look. The idea of like tech priests in general is really cool to me. The mix of like, I don't know, machine god 3-in-1. I'm like, oh, they're so cool. It's like, it's conceptually very cool to me.
Fire they can bring. They hit pretty well. They generally hit on 3s, sometimes 4s, depending on if they're using mechs or their own current bionics. But they do definitely have some of the wackier stuff. The entire army has a 6-up invulnerability save, so occasionally you get some pretty clutch moments when you start taking damage and you roll a couple dice and you get a couple 6s and you can shrug off like full-on missiles and stuff. So that is pretty cool. Like one of their base weapons is a really regular, kind of crappy carbine, but if you roll a 6 for it, it does double damage, which can actually be ludicrously powerful at times. Then you've got the weird robots, the Castellan robots, that they're these giant like World War I mech dudes that have a refractor field, so if they block off shots with their, well, you know, reflector invulnerable save, it'll launch back damage towards the enemy, which can be kind of crazy. They're very strange. They definitely are quite strange. Much more shooting.
Recommendations for what ethereal? And I'd prefer you don't DM me. That's just kind of a general rule that I don't like to be DM'd. Just ever. Unless you guys have a problem. But we have a Warhammer channel, we have like 4 dedicated Warhammer channels in the Discord. If you can't see them, you have to go okay, so like I'll show you guys how to do this. Unless you're Bricky. Yeah, my DMs are open for Bricky. So you go to channels and roles, and then you go to browse channels, and you need to follow the categories that you want to see. So as you can see, we have the warp over here, and you need to follow that category if you can't see it. Okay. And then we've got like Warhammer, we've got our book club right now, our memes, little guys, our commander election, and our chat army list for our upcoming Warhammer game. So yeah, just make sure you guys do that if you do end up joining. We do have a lot of channels, but I like to keep things separated. It's how my brain works. So yeah, I hope that was helpful in making sure that you can find the correct stuff. Also, welcome to all the new folks who joined up today. The Mechanicus game was like $350 during the Steam Winter Sale and probably will be around next sale. Some of the best music in the... Oh, yeah. I've been listening to the Mechanicus theme. Okay, cool. Also, we have ads coming up on Twitch, so I'm going to take a quick break, stretch my legs, etc. And then we will get back into watching this. I think I'm learning a heck of a lot right now. It's helping me to figure out how armies are classified, what to look for, what to think about, etc. So, Mistborn. Oh, that's a book series, right? Is that I'm gonna sound so ignorant. Is that a Sanderson? The only fantasy author that exists is Brandon Sanderson, and maybe George R.R. Martin. But he never finished a series, so Oh, it is Brandon Sanderson. Okay, I was not talking out my butt then. I thought I might be. I have never really read much fantasy. Like, I was very into Aragon when I was younger. Um, thank you. Thank you. The Emperor protects. So, which was book 2? Oh, someone mentioned it earlier. I don't know. I don't remember. It would be cool. Like I mentioned this in the video, but I haven't read all that much sci-fi. Like, False Gods. That's the second one. Do you remember how fucking bad and cheaply made the Aragon movie was? Wisdom. Wisdom. I think about it like once a year, and I just get angry about it. They put the symbol on the wrong hand. Aragon has a little symbol on his hand, and it's on the wrong hand in the freaking movie, dude. Well, I mentioned that I read Canticle for Leibowitz and Anathem. Anathem is like sci-fi. It's about but like both of them are religious science fiction books. And I just really enjoy it. Oh, the Horus Heresy was originally supposed to be like 6 to 8 novels. Honestly, I can kind of see that with the setup from the first book. The sword was just half painted red. They just didn't care. The people making that movie did not care. I'm impatiently waiting for you, assembling and painting the minis you're waiting for. I bought my first set like 4 months ago, but I still didn't touch because it's intimidating when you have 2 left hands when it comes to crafty stuff like I do. I'm excited for it. Honey, if you're listening from your 7th floor office with floor to ceiling windows, do you want to give us maybe a sneak preview of what you might be sending me, or do we want to keep it a secret? I don't even know if you've sent it yet. I didn't want to bug you about it, so. Like Tough Voyaging, which was George R. R. Martin's sci-fi, still in your top 10 to this day. Might just be the nostalgia talking, though. I have wanted to read Kim Stanley Robinson stuff. Oh, is it Fulgham? I doubt it. Interesting. Unboxing when? I don't know. Oh, I love it when people do this. Hold on. Oh, this is so good. Someone just made an awful mistake. Okay, I will tell you why you were banned on Twitch chat before I hide you here on YouTube. It is because of your username. It was reminiscent of a slur that I have been called before. So that is why you were banned on Twitch chat. And you coming into YouTube and asking that question is why you're going to get banned on YouTube. So absolutely crazy. I love it when people just comment and say, why did you yeet me off of one platform? Oh, well, thank you. Oh, well, thank you. Oh. We're closing in on the time difference between the first book of Song of Ice and Fire and the last book and the next. Ooh. Surely they have some deductive reasoning, who knows? Here's your surprise model, May. 5K Titan model. No, Honey needs to buy a house. Well, Honey might already have a house, I don't know. He's got better things to spend it on. Yeah, I do have a book/model on my throne, and you guys, hey, if anyone wants to just be my Warhammer sugar parent, you can always just send me money and say spend this on plastic crack, and I will. And he needs a second house. Always looking for a Warhammer patron. Hi, man. Moose man. I went Manx. I don't know. Sugar parent is definitely a term. Well, I really considered saying sugar daddy, and then I was like, no. I mean, I just said it now, but Discworld. Oh, Harp, if you want to get into Discworld, send me a message later, and I will ask my friend who is really into Discworld what you should start with. How can we know it's going to good, healthy plastic crack and not evil food and necessities? I will send you a photo in Discord of it when I buy it. Now, Walking Dead, that one hurts for me to say out loud. We're doing good, we're doing good. Hashtag Discworld. Okay, apparently all you nerds are also into Discworld. This is like when I was like, oh, I should try Gunpla, and everyone was like, Gunpla, Gunpla, Gunpla. Aw, thank you. Warhammer is expensive, hence why I spent hundreds of dollars on a 3D printer to make my own minis. I actually thought about that. Getting the getting a 3D printer does seem cheaper over the long run, you know? Then we can also print out joke minis and paint those on stream. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do my best to remember, but I probably won't, and I apologize. I've had a 3D printer before, and I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. What is Battletech? Whoa, what is... oh, Battletech is Gundams. Oh. Okay, listen, this is what I'm talking about when I say that chat actually runs this stream. Because you guys know I love a tangent. I'm enjoying watching Bricky, but you know, we gotta savor our Bricky time. Because eventually the video ends. And we gotta do things in between. This is a cool looking website for Battletech. Fiction. Whoa, they've got books? This is what happened when I clicked on the fiction page. I was so excited. Would you recommend a resin, for those who know, would you recommend a Text Talks Battletech? Would you recommend resin? Oh, okay. I've never used a resin printer. They seem really cool. How much do resin printers cost? Like, what's the price of a resin printer? Let's see, 3D resin printer. Anyone got a recommendation for a good starter one? $350? Well, they also cost resin, yeah, but in the long run, it would be cheaper. I used to have a filament one. That's what I use for my keyboards. Elegoo? Love Elegoo, honestly. They have a 50% off sale on their resin right now. Pretty crazy. Now, I don't know if they have... Oh, there we go. They have a Centauri Carbon. Is this... That's a big reduction in price. This is a resin printer, yeah? Or is this not a resin? Oh. Wait. Okay. Resins. wait. 3D printers. Resin 3D printers. No, come back. Mars 5. Oh, this one's got a mini next to it. Which planet looks best? Saturn? Probably the Saturn 4. Let's see how much that is. $300. That's not bad. I mean, I think I paid $250 for my filament printer. $200 maybe. Let's see. Air safety needs to be taken seriously with resin printers. We have a garage outside that my dad calls M5 after Mythbusters. So I have an outdoor space that I could do it in. Yeah. A little more than a Christmas 40K box set. Mm. You don't have a room you can like get poisoned? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. I've dealt with that somewhat with soldering, so. The resin 3D printers look like if you get inside you would get Green Goblin. You would if you were small enough, I'm pretty sure. That's not bad. I assume this could print the majority of minis. Like I don't know how big that is. So you have to consider the curing/cleaning unit. How expensive is the resin by itself? Let's see. 8K standard resin, 12 kilograms. Okay, I don't think I was supposed to look at that. Let's just look at one thing of resin. Okay, it's $25. Like, okay. So theoretically. Cheap or not cheap? Yeah, we gotta think about that. And you guys know I'm just, I don't know if you know this. I love dreaming. I love making a little plan and then not executing on it. My mom and I both do this where we're like, let me think. Yes, I love window shopping. Oh, ooh. So don't spend any time trying to be like, well, May, you should get into the hobby more. No, trust me, I will. I've learned over the years that I would sink way too much money into hobby because of my ADHD, so I've learned to temper it. Like strolling through a thrift store, yeah. You can print dozens of things with one bottle, okay. That's a really cool looking model. Whoa. Okay, very cool. You can buy that and then be sad about how hard resin is to paint. Is that true? Have you guys been leading me astray right now? $500 get you a resin printer, a cleaning/curing station, and 1 to 2 liters of resin, and a full army. No, not true. Okay, you guys have to fist fight about it. Wisdom is claiming that it is difficult. We have a naysayer in chat, which is fine. I love a good naysayer. Oh, okay. Wow, we have a naysayer who's ready to die on that hill. You guys are talking like the naysayer is not in chat still. Y'all are killing me. Oh. So said, from what I can see, it is challenging for beginners because it can crack or shatter. Ah. Okay. Well, because you guys, okay, let me show you something. So you guys know these I'm gonna go to my throne to show you something real quick that I love. Okay, so like, please, can I make I can't make this big. Okay. So you guys know these sorts of models? Can you print something like this? Like if I wanted to print the like Yumiko model. What's my favorite Bricky video so far? His Warhammer minis? Like his Warhammer series? Or in general? Because I really enjoyed the video that he put out yesterday on his episode 2 channel where he just kind of yapped for a little bit. That was nice. Okay, if you can find the STL. And then you have to paint them yourself, I assume. I mean, like, obviously. Send that to, I mean, it's on my throne. Here, Phoenix, I'll send you the link to my throne. Yeah, I love that Yumiko model. This Mary model is also just so cool. I don't know. I think it looks sick. Ugh. Look at her. The little poker chips. Ah. But it's also so expensive. I've never understood model collecting, so I don't really know what is and is not expensive for models. This seems expensive to me, so. One thing you know about, is while official Games Workshop models are expensive, the plastic is very high quality. In over 14 years, you've never had a model break. You never had a model break besides a connection point where it was glued. Ah. That price? Yeah. I mean, she's on sale right now. You get like $10 off, $8 off. So, I did add this to my throne because Tetra recommended it. And it does come with a mini apparently, so. Yeah, we got 3 mods in chat. That's pretty cool. I love Kakagure because it's just if Alucard from Hellsing was a teenage girl with a gambling addiction. Here's a video about 3D resin printing for beginners. Thank you, Soph.
If you know absolutely nothing about 3D resin printing but want to give it a go, then this video is for you. Biff.
Oh, okay, I'll watch that later. I loved that dude's voice. Tetra got a new baby, I know! He's so exciting. Oh. Yeah, there are many garage kits you buy that are made from resin. She going from the baby store. Hold on. I don't have Twitch. I don't think I have notifications on for that, but somebody just bought something on my throne. Goober. Anonymously, you goober. What is this? Lisa. How do I see that? How do I see that? He could be in the room with us right now? The anonymous gifter could be in the room with us? Oh, someone bought the frickin' book, dude. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh. Did you guys know that's like my 3rd gift on Throne? My 4th gift on Throne? Wow. Someone bought me the earbuds that I use. It was very sweet of them. I love them. They've been really great. I had to get a replacement, but other than that, they've been really cool. Anyway. What are you guys yapping about? What did they get? They got me the Warhammer 40k book that has a little mini in it. Maybe it's the guy that got double banned. I hope it was. I hope it was him. He didn't even leave a message. Just said, bought secret gift. That's crazy. That's crazy. The outdated Titus mini? I'll take it. I'll take any mini.
Over Melee, and definitely fun and has some great looking characters. Belisarius Call might be one of the best models in the entire game. Super cool looking too. A bitch to paint though, oh my god. And that does lead me to the collecting of the AdMech part itself. They're actually getting a lot more newer updates lately.
Can I just say, it's so nice how much experience Bricky has with this. It's like, it's really cool to listen to him give his personal experience, and you can see it in everything that he says about it, you know? Thanks.
They're actually one of the
Anyway.
newest armies as well. They came out only a couple years ago. All their stuff is in plastic and it looks really damn good. I personally think that they have some of the best aesthetics in the entire game. The only problem is that painting them is going to be a real bitch. I would recommend trying to do some of the simpler stuff, like maybe the Dune Crawler, before you get into things like Call or a Tech Priest Dominus,
nice.
because wow, is painting that going to be really damn hard. Cost-wise, they are getting a bunch of new units, which is great, but generally when you get new units, they are very expensive, and whenever new stuff comes out, it tends to be a bit expensive. The army isn't a horde, but it's also not an elite army, so they're probably in the mid-ground when it comes to price range. However, I would recommend them to people who like some kind of wacky antics and some weird abilities and weaponry.
Like, he's not wrong. The aesthetics of this
is
is so cool.
On, and they're pretty dang cool to collect. So mid-tier price, maybe a little bit more expensive, but their sculpts look great and they're very new, and I would highly recommend them. Next up, you've got the Adepta Sororitas, or also known as the Sisters of Battle, my second favorite army, though I will be honest,
after Night Lords,
really coming up to overtaking the Imperial Guard. I love my Guard, I love my Cadians, I love my Tempesta Scions, but the Sisters of Battle, they're really cool. Not only from a lore perspective, they're just insanely religious, zealotous nuns. That already is just really dang cool. As for the tabletop, they're one of the closest range armies in the entire game that isn't a full-on melee army. They're a slow-moving, like, advancing gunline army with some actually horrifying melee units and just some,
I love the poses for them.
Ridiculous close-range firepower. The Sisters are probably one of the top 3 hardest armies to play, I'd say. They've got some really weird antics as well, kind of like AdMech, maybe not quite as wacky. This army can be played in almost any way as well. You can do this a full gunline army or a full melee army, or 50-50. Everything is viable. They do require a lot of finesse and manipulation because these are all low toughness sisters that do have good armor, but when you've got a low toughness like they do, and they're not necessarily the most powerful when it comes to the actual punching, they can actually be shot off pretty quickly. So you need to be really smart on how you maneuver them, because you've got a super short range, kind of squishy army at times. That can be a little bit challenging to get through. That being said, people are sleeping on the power of Sisters. Let me be the first one to say it. You are all sleeping on how strong this army is. This army, if played well by a smart person, will crush you. As for the actual collective...
Dude, not only is Bricky going hard for these guys, looks like a lot of folks in chat are too. Sisters are awesome. I love their drip. Sisters of Battle scare you? You've watched some of their melee units tear apart an Imperial Knight. It was nuts. Alright. That's crazy. I love that.
Of the models, Sisters are the most recent army, at least as the time of making this video, who have had a complete army overhaul. For a while,
you can't beat a church organ tank. So true.
Whatsoever, but the entire army, besides I think one unit, got a
I think they're so cool.
overhaul of models. Everything is brand spanking new, and they probably have the best looking models in the entire game, in my opinion. They look incredible. That crazy gothic, kind of Catholic nun look. I mean, come on. Their tank is a pipe organ missile launcher.
Look at that.
Pipe organ missile launcher. Sisters are one of the coolest looking armies in the entire game. They are a bit expensive though. That's the one downside, is that because this entire army is brand new, it is brand new with a brand new price tag. So I personally love them. They might soon become my favorite army.
Sorry, I
can't quite tell yet.
I was giggling about his announcer,
great.
like his
They're
video voice.
to collect.
Sorry.
They have lots of different kinds of abilities, both melee and shooting. No psychic phase, but they do have some shenanigans to stop other people from using the psychic phase. They're pretty cool, but they are really hard to play, and they take a lot of practice. So kind of up to you. I would say not a very good starting army, but they are pretty neat. All right, Grey Knights. I heard you like the psychic phase.
I haven't even heard of these
guys. You like the psychic phase, this is the psychic phase for you. Grey Knights are Space Marines X2. They're super mega duper elite Space Marines that are all psychers. They're nuts.
That sounds
Grey
cool,
Knights
Sigmund.
are insane. They are very, very elite. However, you have probably like maybe 40% fewer models than an average army would have. All of your dudes.
Why are we saying poor Grey Knights? Why are we acting like that? Oh, bye, Deca. If you had heard of the Grey Knights, they would have killed you. That makes sense. They got folded into the Agents of the Imperium faction? Oh. Ah. Bye. Oh, they did not get folded in? Oh, okay. Their models are 10 years old? Oh. They have the shittiest lore. That's the Death Watch that Dylan was mentioning. Dude, the fact any of you guys keep any of this stuff straight is crazy to me. Ooh, Andrew, that's a good recommendation. I've heard people recommending the Poor Hammer podcast. Do they like can I watch it as a video or we're autistic, it's my autism. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, okay. Cuz someone said they rank which armies are easiest to paint. That sounds good. Also, has anybody seen this video? Is this a good video? It's only 4 minutes and 10 seconds long. Looks like it might be good. It has showed up on my recommendation constantly. Poor Hammer, easiest armor to paint. Oh yeah, okay. Because one of my favorite videos that I've watched in a long time was about magic cheating scandals. Or like reasons that they changed the rules in Magic. Okay, so this was a year ago. I love the name Poor Hammer. You were at that tournament when it happened? That's crazy. Monetizable videos? What do you mean? I haven't thought about that ever before. Yeah, that one shows up in my recommended every time too. Bricky losing his mind. Basically, it does every time. Now I'm getting recommended his stuff on his episode too. Oh. Usually it shows up. You guys can see mostly what I watch. Yeah, normally it would have popped up. What was it? Bricky GW, yeah. GW merch site crash out. Okay, that's on the list. No more recommendations. I've been recommended. I mean, if you don't care, it doesn't matter. Just some of their videos don't have ads because they were demonetized for content. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we've watched that one. Well, we've watched one of them. We've watched one of the 40K in 40 minutes. Oh, there was a new Super Mario 64 speedrunning cheater exposed? Interesting. Yeah, Bricky did win. I was proud of him. I don't know, Bonesaw. Somebody said that on Twitch.
However, are scary in their own right. They all hit very well on 3s minimum. They all have great armor. Since they're all psychers, they're really good at dealing with other psychers. They also have great shooting and very strong melee. All of your guys have extremely powerful melee weapons. The only downside of Grey Knights is that any anti-psycho shenanigans can really harm them, and you are running an elite army with very few models. When you run very few models, that means every time you're rolling and you roll those ones, it hurts that much more. Grey Knights, though, they have this awesome kind of old school knight round table aesthetic with them all carrying things like halberds and falchions. They've got holy text and they carry books around and flags, but they do get to use every phase as well. Lots of psychic, and then they're shooting and a ton of melee as well. Mainly psychic and melee. In terms of buying them, they're not too bad actually. They're probably one of the cheaper armies as well, because when you're running an elite army, not as many models on the tabletop, so it's a lot easier to fill out your entire army by only purchasing many or fewer boxes than normal. As for their sculpts, I don't know exactly how new they are. I wouldn't call them very new. I call them like middle
So many
ground when it
skulls.
comes to how old they are. They're not super old, but they're not necessarily super new either. That being said, if they are, say, medium old or whatever, they do look great. I love the way the plastic models look. I think they look fantastic, and I would recommend
They're
trying
stumpy.
them out if you like a Psyker-heavy Space Marine thing. You play Space Marines and you're like, wow, I like the Psychic phase. Grey Knights. No competition. Infantry is for losers. It's big mech boy time. I'm being honest though, the Imperial Knights, I wouldn't recommend them. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't think Imperial Knights are a very good army for a new player. They are one of the cheapest armies you can buy because
They don't have a
while
Primarch.
each knight in its own right is
The
very
Grey Knights.
expensive. You only need
Or
3
the
or
Imperial
4
Knights.
to fill out an entire game's worth, and compare that to a full army. They're actually not too bad, like price-wise. The problem with Knights is that, as cool as they are, they
Grey
want to
Knights.
use the Psyche phase. They have plenty of shooting, though, plenty of shooting, and they can have some really great melee.
Oh, both.
But when you're playing Imperial Knights, you're not really playing 40k. A great friend of mine said, if you're playing Imperial Knights, you're playing chess, but you have about 6 queens against a normal enemy chess player. If the enemy chess player is smart, they could easily beat your 6 queens. I'm sure it'll be pretty simple for them to use their full arsenal to beat you. But if the enemy chess player is a noob, for instance, then there's a good chance that they're not going to be able to win, and you'll just kind of noob stomp them. And that's what Knights are. Knights are generally noob stompers, or more like just a middle tier army. They're not good for new players because they don't really teach you the game, and it's not the way the game is really, I don't know how to say it, meant to be played, so to speak. I got nothing against Knight players. If you're a Knight player, it's totally fine. If you run a Knight Valiant, you have nothing but my respect, all right? Get that Knight Valiant, 2-up armor, 4-up invul, Trader's Pyre. Oh, wait, you can't have both. Just have Trader's Pyre, the coolest weapon in the game. All right, but honestly, just for a new player, I would not recommend Knights. They are cool. They're great painting projects, however. If you just want to paint something, definitely pick up a Knight for that. They look great. You're not really playing
they look
40K
sick.
when you play Imperial Knights. You're playing a kind of a weird hybrid of it.
I'd
If
want to paint one
anything,
for sure.
Get a normal army, like say Imperial Guard or maybe some Space Marines, and then buy one big Knight and throw it into your army as an ally. That would be the way to do it, I'd say. I think they're better as a supplementary character as opposed to a main army or force. This is also same for Chaos Knights as well. They do look really cool, though. They do look really cool. Golden boys, golden boys.
Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break and go to the bathroom. Also, if you see me, oh yeah, I'm back. I'm back. She's made it back. I don't know. We're shaming each other. Somebody bought me a figure that was stupidly cool and my first ever one, and I'm gonna have to like actually get a place to display them. And I'm so excited. Cry on YouTube couldn't be you. So true. Shenanigans are occurring as per the usual. I'm chewing on my shirt collar. I'm having a great time. What is I want a girl. Who knows? Oh gosh, how have I forgotten the words to that cake song? Short skirt and a long jacket. I want a girl who gets stuff done. Dang, I don't think the new figurine would be a good chew toy. I've never chewed on my shirt collar before. This is new. It's a newly acquired unlocked stem I just got. The DLC must have gone through. So
Adeptus Custodians are the elite of the elite. This is probably one of the most elite armies you could possibly play.
Right.
These guys are nuts. They hit on 2s or higher.
they hit on 2s?
In shooting and melee. They have triple the health of a normal Space Marine. They have a better armor save than a normal Space Marine. They all have invulnerable refractor fields around them, which most armies do not have. They're tougher than Marines. They get to reroll 1s in the shooting and melee phase when a certain
Wisdom
captain
did buy
is
me
near
the
them,
shirt chew
which
TLC.
means they're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. You absolutely murder people in melee. You've got some okay shooting. Your shooting is hit or miss, but your melee is insane, and you use about 20 models. They are literally the definition of Chad Thundercock, okay? Chad Thundercock, if that was a human being, it would be a custodian, okay? The problem is that you only have 15 20, 25 models in your entire army. It is absolutely crazy.
And
how
that's for
powerful these
2,000
guys are,
point?
but they do pay the price for it.
I assume.
That being said, when it comes to collecting them, they are one of the cheapest armies you can buy because they're so elite. You don't need as many things to purchase. You don't need as many models to have on the field. So buying custodians is much cheaper than your average army. It's an elite army, and also they're much easier to paint, in my opinion, because they're so big. Because they're like 2 feet taller than a Space Marine, lots of a big canvas for your painting, and they're almost all gold. Gold isn't that hard to paint, I wouldn't say.
Oh,
so
okay.
they're good for painting.
Oh.
They're not very.
Okay, so a squad of 6 is like 320 points. So a squad of Noise Marines is 145 points for comparison. Wow. It's Henry Cavill's favorite army? Interesting. Someone said Bonesaw said, only issue with Custodes is that all the competitive builds use grab tanks, which are Forge World, which are hard to build and expensive. Oh. In lore, a single platoon of Custodes were deployed against an entire orc wog. They destroyed billions of them, and only 3 of their number died. Ooh. Grab tanks look like a hot dog? I see what you did there, Hart. Grab tanks. A squad of 10 basic infantry for Gene Stealer Colt is 65 points. It's Custodes, as in Custodes nuts. Fuck. I'll write it back. Oh, that was good. That was a good one. That was a good one. That got me. Custodes nuts for winter. Oh, that's good. 10 Necron Warriors is 100 points. Okay. Okay, that's helpful. That's helpful.
Expensive. I would say they're not bad at beginner army, if I'm being honest. They're pretty cool. They have a nice kind of power fantasy to them. But as an elite army, every one you roll is gonna really hurt. So that's something you should be worried about, or warned about at least. They are pretty.
It sounds like they are really cool, but he's like, listen, guys, there are so many other cooler ones out there, but he's not gonna say that out loud, you know?
Neat though. I'm not going to touch on the Assassins, Sisters of Silence, or Inquisition too much because they're not really an actual army. The Assassins are really damn cool. There's 4 of them, and you get to pick one to add to your army as you see fit. They all have different things they do and specialize in.
No. Yeah, I'm hosting the bot. You should be able to shame. I don't know why you can't. Maybe something changed on the back end and I just haven't noticed. Not to mention Forge World minis are resin cast, so very annoying to assemble. Interesting. We could change that.
Sniper, a horde clear, a kind of confusion specialist, and an anti-psyker character. Cool, their scopes are really nice, and since they're only single characters, not too expensive, but you really can't make an army out of them. They're more of a supplementary character. The Sisters of Silence just recently got an update to allow you to field them with custodians, which is awesome and super cool, and is actually kind of a big part of them, because the Sisters of Silence are big anti-psyker, but they only have maybe 2 kits, 3 kits in their entire army, and that's about it. They're not really worth collecting in their own right unless you're already collecting custodians. And the Inquisition are a whole bunch of just little characters, basically. A whole bunch of named characters with the cool abilities, which are neat, but not really something that I would try to get a whole bunch of. Look at all 3 of those things after you're already starting collecting another army, and you're like, hey, I kind of want an assassin. Throw an assassin in there. Unless you're playing custodians, then check out the Sisters of Silence, because the custodian's biggest weakness is psychic, and the sisters do a great job at cutting that down. All right, let's move on to Chaos. So we got the Chaos Demons to start off with. Chaos Demons follow one of 4 gods: Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, or Slaanesh Big Titty. With Slaanesh Big Titty, you're going for melee and fast. You are all melee. You've got...
Put some respect on her name. It's she who thirsts. I mean, yeah, like also Slaanesh Big Titty, but I don't know.
No shooting, you got good psychic spells, but you're running in there at Mach 5.
Miss Big Titty,
Papa
thank you.
Nurgle is slow, but tanky as hell. Tzeentch, a little bit in between, but tons of psychic spells. Khorne, no psychic. Melee hits like a truck. Pretty much all of the Chaos Demon factions are glass cannons and very heavy into melee. You got some...
Okay, so... There are Chaos... So, like, the Emperor's Children are a Space Marine faction. And then there are Chaos Demon factions that are their own thing. So you could run Slaanesh Chaos Demons only, or... Yeah, Chaos Space Marines, right? Demons don't have a codex anymore. Is that true? Chat? Thoughts? Prayers? Thoughts and prayers? Okay. They have a codex. So if they have a codex, they are an army that you can run. Hui? Hui? Usually... You usually mix the demons. Running a mono-god demon army is a bit rough. Okay. They have an index. Just an index. Well, that sounds interesting, Palix. Demons don't have a codex, but they're independent detachments that GW put out for them. Demons have an index, they're still very good. They had a codex. Okay, so like, when I'm making the Emperor's Children, is the Demon Prince of Slaanesh, is he technically, does he fall underneath the Chaos Demons? Or does he fall underneath the Emperor's Children? Or is it a bit of both? He can be in either. Okay, okay. That's what I thought. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Cool. I'm just trying to understand that fully. He has Chaos Space Marine area in 10th edition. Okay. You can put some demons with the Chaos Space Marine faction from what I know, but up to a certain point cap, I believe. Could be wrong. Cool, cool. Chaos Demons are dying in 40k. They're being passed over to Age of Sigmar. Oh. Chaos Demons kill Space Marines all the time. Sometimes they vibe with the Marines. Sometimes they form genuine bonds. Most of the time, demons only see humans as fools or food. Fabius Bile's daughter got turned into a Slaanesh demonette who devoted her existence to protect him. Demon princes are not full demons, and actual demons treat them like lesser. Even demon primarchs are not viewed as true demons. Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. So then that makes the guys who trap demons inside of their war machines even more hardcore. Yes? Because, like, the demon primarchs aren't true demons, but nobody's trapping them in... Yeah, I guess that's who it was. I just remembered that somebody trapped demons in their equipment. Demon princes are true demons? Okay. That's the point of them? Okay. It would seem hierarchically that they would be higher than demons. God, nah, you're a battery. So fun fact, you can have both an Emperor's Children Demon Prince and a Demon's Demon Prince. Fun. They're not dying, that's a community rumor. They didn't get a codex this edition, but they're still getting support. Ah. Oh, you're huffing copium about it? Got it. A greater demon is probably bigger than a demon prince. Demon princes are mortals who have ascended into demonhood. They can do that? That's so cool! Whoa! I don't know if y'all know this, but I love Bible fan fiction. Even if this isn't like really Bible fan fiction, it feels a lot like Bible fan fiction, and I love Bible fan fiction. One of my favorite shows is Lucifer, even if the 6th season, it was sad they didn't make a 6th season. So I just love it. Like, I really liked Supernatural when I was younger. They were mortals who ascended to demonhood, so the other normal demons get salty about them. Ah, interesting. Iron Warriors and Vashtor run demon engines and the like. Mechanicus is Bible fanfiction? Sorcerers who can command demons are seen as big deals. Demon Primarchs are not seen as true demons. We've got a challenge on that. Mortarion was viewed with scorn by a great unclean one of Nurgle. Demon princes are mortals who gain the favor of their god/gods and were rewarded, but that is extremely rare. What do you mean it's not Bible? I clearly remember Jesus fighting Khorne in the Bible. Well, I mean, I literally called Horus a Christ-like figure in my book review. Because he is. I mean, he literally says, "My father, why have you forsaken me?" Like, also, I'm going to take a quick break so that I can run to the restroom, and also grab a little bit to eat. Jesus is a greater demon of God. Well, I don't know. We could say that, but
good psychers for about 3 of the 4, because Khorne I don't think has any. So there is still plenty of variety in there, but what you're doing is you got a whole bunch of big glass cannon demons that run up and just break your face. That's Chaos Demons in a nutshell. They all have their various traits. Sledge is fast and hits a lot of times. Nurgle is...
I eat the Trader Joe's legally distinct Takis with chopsticks as well. That is the correct way to eat any staining chip is with chopsticks.
Tanky, Tzeentch is Psyker, Khorne hits really hard. Pretty simple in that sense, but overall, Chaos Demons, to collect them, they're not something you would really collect by themselves. You would ally them in with...
Damn, what Legion was Trader Joe from? I love that. Some of the demon Primarchs are seen as okay, but will never fully be accepted as a true demon, no matter how much they are liked by their god. This is because all greater demons and lesser demons are shards of their respective god, full shards, while demon Primarchs and demon princes are still their own soul mixed with the essence of that god. So it's not a full shard, and thus not a true demon in the eyes of Warpspawn. So they're just pretentious. Interesting. Huh. Oh, you're right. Trader Joe was from the Luna Wolves.
Things like Chaos Space Marines, which we're going to be talking about in just a moment, but as an army in their own right, don't try to make a demon army, I wouldn't say. They don't teach you a ton of the game, and they're a little bit limited because you have to stick with one Chaos faction normally. If you want to ally in multiple things, you're probably going to need some Chaos Space Marines to go along with it, and with that, let's talk about that. Chaos Space Marines, you're kind of getting the butt end of Games Workshop. They don't really seem to like you, Chaos, that much. I don't know why. A lot of your models aren't very new, and a lot of them are expensive, and your rules aren't that great most of the time, with the exception of something that happened in 7th edition with Chaos Demons, apparently. I heard it was a very, very strong codex. Chaos Space Marines are very similar to regular Space Marines, but they're much more focused on melee combat.
These are my boys.
And it depends on which faction you're going through as well. But while you do have your shooting units, it is generally more melee based, I'd say. Demons in their own right and Chaos in their own right want to run in there and start breaking face. That's generally their MO. As for Chaos Space Marines, it depends on what Legion you're joining, but overall there are a ton of different ways for you to go ahead and get about completing your objective. The Death Guard and the Thousand Suns, I believe, are the most fleshed out.
They suck ass, but they're my shitty Chaos Space Marines.
Death Guard is very recent, and both of them allow you to feel the Primarch, which might be one of the coolest parts about them. You can run Mortarion or Magnus the Red, both gigantic, beautiful models that are just awesome showpieces to have.
Those are
they
so
get shot
sick.
A lot, but once they get into combat, oh man, do they cause problems. As stated before, you should be building what you like, of course. What you enjoy is the most important part of it. But as for Chaos, it's really, you gotta like melee combat, and you gotta like different kinds of allying, probably. I'd say demons aren't, or not demons, but Chaos in general isn't a great faction to start off with as a new player, because you need to understand the intricacies of...
We've got more on the demons. Very pretentious, like how they grant demon prince status. You really have to be liked by the gods or found funny enough. Like, let's say for Khorne, just being the galaxy's best killer isn't going to guarantee you become a demon prince, while some guy who killed 20 people and regretted it may be granted it. You need to do something to actually gain their attention, and that's not just doing what they represent. That's why it's so hard to become a demon prince. So if I could make Slaanesh laugh, I could become a demon prince. I bet I could do it. Like, I hate to say this is the folly of man sort of thing, but I think I could do it. I think I could make Slanesh laugh. I'd be like, men, am I right? Oh.
Of how to do
I think
army
I'm so
building
funny.
and knowing what you're running a little bit more prevalently. And so I'd wait on doing anything chaos related, at least until they get a solid update or someone
That model
teaches
is
you
so
or you get a
cool.
little more
I
into
want
the
that
hobby.
so bad.
With the exception of Death Guard. I think Death Guard is in a good place for a new player because
Welcome back.
Death Guard is pretty cool. But besides that, they're a little tough. Okay, let's talk about some Xeno.
No, Dylan. I think as a genderless, as an agender creature, Slanesh would be like, oh my god, you're so right. There was that one Keeper of Secrets that tried to dance for Slanesh and they took it as a mocking insult and cursed them to dance forever. Nah. Couldn't be me. Going good, thank you for asking. The whole reason Slanesh has gifted Lucius the Eternal immortality is because he's the most egotistical asshole in the galaxy who isn't a loyalist. Wait, is that Lucius from Horus Rising? The guy who took on the Mournival? Oh my god, okay, yeah, I totally understand that. That guy was so full of himself. Whoa! Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I could also be like, hey, Slanesh, women be shopping, am I right? Oh. That's actually why Slanesh picked Lucius the Eternal as their champion. Slanesh finds his ego hilarious. Lucius wants to be the best duelist in the galaxy, so anytime he loses, the person who killed him dies, and Lucius comes back from their flesh, and their soul gets trapped in his armor, so he can't fight them again. Slanesh finds that funny as fuck. Oh, thanks. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so. Oh, I love Slanesh. Because I can see that because dancing for someone isn't giving to one's own desires, so adhering to Slanesh's ideals, so isn't adhering to Slanesh's ideals, hence dance forever until you enjoy it. But one is doing it selfishly, correct? You're doing it in order to gain Slanesh's favor. Lucius is hilarious in 40k, not as a character, but how his chaos slash curse slash ability works to his advantage and disadvantage so often. No. Someone shame local. Harp, are you here? Can you shame local?
Oh, starting off with the Space Elves, the Eldar. So the Eldar are definitely a more glass cannon-y kind of style.
There was actually a really fun short story about when Lucius stepped on a landmine and the guy who made that landmine in a factory felt a brief moment of pride in his job and turned into Lucius. Lucius's gift is also Slanesh's curse. Her way to love him also makes it so that he can never rematch and conquer his previous foe. Slanesh makes him wear all of his defeats forever. I love that. Oh, that's so good. Oh, you're fine, Harp. You don't actually have to pop in to shame someone. It was a bit. But I appreciate you doing it. Where do I find these short stories? People have been speaking of these short stories. I've heard tell of short stories. And I am a short story enjoyer. One of my favorite books of all time is Best American Short Stories of 2013. Good luck. Good luck trying to find them, is that what you're saying? Has someone perhaps assembled them into a book that I could find upon the high seas or something? Tucked away in codexes. Ah. Just feels like something that could easily become lost media. You may think, why not just take off the soul armor to avoid the bad memories? I didn't think that, but that's cool. Because the armor, his weapons, is cursed to always find its way back to him. He could go on a journey across the galaxy and his armor and weapons will find him through fate. Yeah, seems like Slaanesh has thoroughly cursed him. They're everywhere, sometimes in a codex, sometimes as a preface chapter to a novel. Yeah, I mean, I love short stories, so if anyone knows where to find, like, all of them stashed away, compiled, I'd love to read them. You can find a lot of 4th to 8th edition codexes at local libraries. Oh, interesting.
Group. They are the first Xenos race we're talking about, and there are a couple of versions. There's also the Drukhari and the Harlequins. However, the Eldar, they are strike hard, strike fast, and get out of there immediately. So the thing about Eldars, what would happen is they would fly out of somewhere, immediately gun down with extremely high-powered weaponry.
Whatever this model is very cool, dude. The Chaos Gods are near universally dicks to basic everyone. Okay, so here's the thing. Lucius got what he deserved? Question mark, question mark, question mark? So I don't really know why like, that feels more like a sort of divine retribution. The Incarn. Incarn model Eldar. Pretty much, yeah. Oh, I think I'm understanding what it is more now. It's like an Eldar with stuff coming up around them. That looks super sick, dude. That looks so cool. Well, that always scares me. But thank you for the bits. Short stories are in some books, like the main Chaos Sister of Battle story of Mirel Sabatel is in the book Tales of the Dark Millennium and the story of the Invitation. She fell to Slaanesh. Many short stories are in codexes, but some are just bunched up in old books you can buy and read. Man, the times when GW wanted to move Eldar plot and then forgot about it. Alright. Oh, they're trying to create a new god to fight Slaanesh. Good luck, baby. We are 31 minutes in.
Hitting on threes with some kind of
The Eldar.
BS stratagems, if I'm being honest, and then they can zip back into cover and really annoy you. Honestly, Eldar probably have some of the more powerful shenanigans when it comes to the game. They have lots of weird rules. Their stuff hits extremely hard, but of course, once you fire back at them, if you live, they will crumble under a slight breeze to an extent. If you play Eldar, you won't be making a bunch of friends, if I'm being honest. I'd say Eldar are top 3 most aggravating enemies to fight against. People don't like fighting Eldar a whole lot, myself included. I find them to be quite aggravating, but if you're that kind of person who likes zip in, zip out, and be all kind of trickery and sneaky, they're definitely the army for you. They're definitely more shooting and psychic based. That's the 2 main things. They've got some good melee, but mainly shooting and psychic based. As for collecting Craft World Eldar, I'd say that they got.
Okay, so when Bricky fought Nick that first time on 40k in 40 minutes, one of the reasons that Nick was having so much trouble, correct me if I'm wrong on this, one of the reasons that that Nick did not win was because he had very well, he wasn't rolling very well, but also one of the difficulties that he faced in the battle, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, was that he had a lot of ranged attackers and Bricky had a lot of melee attackers. So Bricky was moving forward towards the objectives and could take them when Nick could not. So correct me on that if I'm wrong. That storyline was to get all Crone swords, Slaanesha's last one in their palace, or literally kill all Eldar so the Eldar God of Death could wake up and kill Slaanesh. But that plot got halted because killing Slaanesh would be bad for business because you lose on demon models and Emperor Children model sales just to give Eldar a win, which isn't going to happen because that's not shooting yourself in the foot, that's sawing it off. That makes sense. Right on the money? Okay. Nick didn't do enough damage to Bricky as he moved towards the center? Okay. See, I'm trying to understand how two armies, when they meet, like Bricky used a very aggressive strategy to get to those objectives. So he moved very aggressively forward. And in doing so, he lost many units, but the units that he did have were able to hold the objectives. And Nick was rolling so poorly that he couldn't do enough damage to take out enough units. Ooh, my brain is wrinkling up, brother. Ooh, it's so good. By moving forward, Bricky was both bringing his opponents closer and claiming objectives. Nick's army tactic of sitting back and shooting pressured Nick to not claim the middle. Yeah. My guess is Nick wanted to thin out Bricky's army, then make up points at the end, but poor rolls meant it just didn't happen for him. Yeah, I could see how that would be an effective strategy, but you're going to have to make sure, like, that is so dependent on your rolls going well. But it seems like all play is dependent on your rolls going well. The longer the range, the slower the more powerful attacks, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if it does. Melee moving from cover to cover versus precise long range usually loses. Which one usually loses? The melee? I haven't seen that game, but that description sounds like it's probably right. Okay. I would recommend you watch it. It was really great. Bricky did a great job. It was really fun to watch. It was my first time watching a Warhammer game. And I thought they both made a very good show of it. They were very good entertainers. So it made it engaging to watch. I actually I might release my reaction to it, although I very much was kind of just sitting there being like, I'm so happy to be here. I'm enjoying watching this. Ooh, this is nice. And I had a few questions, but I feel like I've learned a lot more since then. Yes, it was Tau versus Sisters, because Nick is the Tau guy. And they have a rematch that we started watching, I believe, but I was kind of like, meh. 40k is ultimately a game of dice. No matter how good or how meta an army is, the dice will decide. It's why I like to say, may the dice abide. Yeah. You won't hit as hard as often with greater reach, but the melee has to get close first. Yeah, Bricky's, Bricky's strategy, it seemed like, was just to take the objectives as fast as he could, and sit there for as long as he could, and it was working for him. Also, welcome on in, Sky and Wraith. He is so Tau. Someone 3D printed him a model with his face on the Crisis suit pilot. I love that. I liked that one, Methos. Honestly, using the game as an opportunity to quiz yourself on your understanding of the rules sounds neat. Yeah. I mean, I basically am trying to build... Aw. Thank you so much for the sub, Wraith. I really appreciate it. Welcome on in. We're glad to have you. Bricky also gambled on an aggressive deployment on first turn and got it. Really played into his hands. Played really into his hands. Ah. Okay. Oh, here. I'll make him look a little less cross.
Some good sculpts. Some of their...
There we go. That's a little bit better. I just didn't want you guys thinking he was mad at me or anything. Local, I'm going to ban you. I'm just kidding, I'm not. If you can get the objective and just bunker, melee is supreme. Yeah, it actually seemed like Bricky was not doing an intense amount of bunkering. He was getting hit quite a lot, and he was losing a lot of units. By the end, he did have very few, it seemed like. But because a lot of it was like Nick just did really bad on his rolls. But I mean, that you can kind of bank on that, it seems like. If Nick would have gotten first turn, all of Bricky's army would have been out in the open like sitting ducks.
Been watching you go down the rabbit hole of Bricky and Warhammer 40k and I absolutely love it. I am a World Eaters player and Eldar player myself, so seeing other people getting into the hobby is so awesome. I just watched your Horus Rising review and absolutely loved your perspective.
Aw, thank you so much, Wraith. Thank you for the bits, I appreciate it. Yeah. I had such a good time doing that. I was talking about this earlier that it's so nice to be able to share something that I'm currently passionate about with people who are also really passionate about it. I haven't gotten to have that kind of community in a long time. I mean, I did with the TTRPG community, but it was much smaller and people usually had been in it less. And I wasn't a creator in this sense. So I think this gives me a different outlet where I can talk about it, you know, on video and stuff. Miracle Dice for Bricky allowed him to win some key rolls too, I think, which is a quirk of that army. Yeah, it did seem like he was using those pretty aggressively. So being aggressive has a silver lining for him. That makes sense. Yeah, that's how you have to play the ranged versus melee game. Gotta trade against their ability to kill. Well, okay, so in my brain, it seems like the best thing to run is a slightly tanky melee build if what your job in a game to do is to get objectives, so you need to go stand in a spot, right? Wasn't that what many of the objectives were? Or did I misunderstand what objectives were? Because it seemed like a lot of the game, he was just going and standing in a certain spot with a little marker on it, and that got him objectives. Or well, then, okay. It's totally okay, local. There's primary and secondary objectives? Okay. See, killing the enemy doesn't matter if the enemy managed to claim objectives. That's why I think, in my head, I would want to run a slightly tanky melee build. If not pretty tanky melee build. As Bricky had with his Sisters of Battle, he did have like one sharpshooter essentially, and I think having 1 to 2 of those, one on each side, in order to basically provide backup on trying to get the big units that are doing a lot of damage, or rather the smaller units that are kind of chipping away at your health as you stand at objectives. That is where my brain is like, that seems like the kind of strategy that I would want to use, because it seems that going for defense when a majority of the game is standing in one spot would be the most beneficial. Is that shaping up as a semi-coherent strategy for myself? Can I get an Attagirl for thinking up that on my own? For coming to that conclusion? I feel like my brain is truly, like, I'm starting to really comprehend it on some level. But sometimes objectives can move or are to target key units on the enemy team, so standing in one spot is not always the best. Okay. Okay, listen, I don't know what Fulgrim is. Some armies can make the objectives sticky, aka get points for objectives even after leaving them until the other player takes it over. Ooh. You need to be flexible enough to score secondary. Some units are great at taking objectives, but not necessarily good at holding them. Okay. So now hear me out on this. This is the feedback that I needed. So if you have a core group of tanky guys who can stand in one spot, and then make sure that you have at least a few damage dealers, some sort of transport in order to guard your squishy guys who are doing that damage or guarding somebody. And then you probably want one big guy that's going to do a lot of damage. And that's the guy you want to start skirting around the field as fast as possible so that they can just go and whack everybody, you know? That's what I'm thinking. And I understand, Cetrix, like the idea of watching more games, but if I don't start analyzing now, eventually I'll miss out on parts of the learning process that I think are important, like this. Being wrong is actually very good. I don't know if you guys know this, but failure is very helpful. I'm afraid of it, but I think it's something I have to do, you know? Maybe strike with powerhouse units and hold with baby weaker ones? Yeah. Okay. Now I'm thinking with portals, there are portals? Yeah. There's more to it than that, but for a start point as you build knowledge, I wouldn't say it's bad. Okay. I forget who I watched that broke it down, but yeah, you basically got to identify roles you want your army to play in pursuit of victory points and what unit fits those roles. There are 1,000 lessons in defeat, but only one in victory. Tower very focused on one thing, so if it doesn't go their way to start, they're really bad. Oh. I'm going to fail a heck of a lot on this Warhammer journey, and that's kind of the fun of it. Honestly, I think you're already putting more thought into playing the game than I have in the past 12 years. Well, when I don't have the ability to like try the game out without having like a bunch of, because here's the thing, if I work really hard to understand the rules, I feel like I will miss out on a lot of basic strategy. So even though I barely know the rules, I feel like understanding basic strategy is a good idea because this whole, I don't know if you guys know this, Warhammer is a strategy game. So I don't know, maybe it's a good idea to think about strategy. Bricky did say if he didn't blow up the 3 devilfish in the beginning, he was gonna have a rough time. Primary objectives are purge the foe, deploy servo skulls, scorched earth, the ritual, priority targets, vital ground, supply drop, sites of power, and take and hold, so it varies a lot. I usually play orcs, run across table, and try to kill things. That's the extent of your strategy. See, that's the thing, Big Salt Baby, is that the less I know about the rules, the minutia of the rules, the better, in my opinion. I think if I get the basic underlying idea of the rules, then I can learn, because I get really caught up in all the minutia and it starts to get really overwhelming. So if you're like, May, you need a unit of your army who's going to stand in one spot. I'm like, I got it. May, you need a unit of your army who's going to do a lot of damage and you need to be able to move them around the field fast. Got it. May, you need guys that are going to hang out and shoot a bunch. Got it. May, you need this. Got it. Got it. Got it. Like, I understand, you know? So. I understand I have options there, but Citrix, what I'm trying to say is that how am I trying? I'm trying desperately to explain this to you. You have to start with the basics. So if you try to fire hose the strategy to me, it's not going to work. The way I learn is that we learn the basics and then we build on them, right? That's, I think, how most people learn, but it's not how most people explain. Most of you, bless your hearts, don't explain that way. So I learn. It's just hard to reply to you with anything useful. Well, that's fine, Citrix. If you don't have anything useful to say, that's okay. You don't have to. Other people feel like they have insights to add, and they're doing that. So, I can't, okay, hold on. I cannot leave Big Salt Baby's comments without being read. All right, lads, let's mansplain, manipulate, and manslaughter a list together. Shout out to my chat. Also, line of sight across the map is important. Usually a few lines through the whole map for tanks and artillery. Jack of all trades. Aw, I love learning. I really do. How dare May try to figure things out and ask questions. That's a good start point where the more advanced tactics people are thinking of require a firm grasp of how the rules work. Yeah, we're not there yet. We are not there yet. Babes, I barely understand how this game works at all. Something that was super fun back at my old GW store, we had several players who also were active players in the NFL. When I got to talking with them, they explained to me how similar the strategy in 40K is to the strategy in football. Plus, it was hilarious to watch these absolute tanks among men play with tiny figurines. Sigmund, you don't understand how much you just helped me understand this game. I like watching big men on field hit each other. I like watching football. I'm not really like a football head, but I do enjoy the art of watching football. So, after that comment, I feel like we need a whiskey and a cigar. Yeah. There's also artillery units who don't need line of sight and just sit on your home objective. Are they in the Emperor's Children? May, I like big men. Slanesh leans in, yeah. Okay, yeah. See, I'm just trying to learn my guys. I'm just trying, my Emperor's Children. So everything else, like, that's the thing. When I'm like, hey, you know, is this correct? It's okay to say, yes, there's a lot more out there, but you've got the basic idea. And I understand, like, Citrix, I don't think that's how your brain works, and that's totally fine. Just know that that is how my brain works. So, and that may be for other folks too. You're just the one who is saying something about it right now. Also, specific army rules are thematic, so when you like the faction, it's easier to remember the rules, but it comes with time. Don't get burnt out going too deep too fast. I really hope I don't. I like big men and I cannot lie. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that. It's okay, it's okay. The thing is, if you guys have I picked a faction? Emperor's Children. I don't think you're being unsuccessful. But I think you're getting a little caught up on the details. Right now I'm trying to understand the scope. And so when I get into the details, I feel like that's where your help might really shine. And that's why we have a community of people helping me. And why I'm lucky to have a community of people helping me, because we get a lot of different perspectives and ideas. So, for example, don't worry about retaining this in abstract, because the order of operations is move, shoot, charge. Well, command, move, shoot, charge. Fight. Right? If you can block your opponent with a sacrificial unit they have to deal with, no matter how weak that unit is, you can prevent them.
We help the cutie.
Thanks. You can prevent them from charging something you want to protect. This is called screening, and it makes no sense without knowing how things move. That makes sense as a basic idea. We're trying to lay the foundation. We're not up to interior decoration just yet. Thank you for the bits, Dylan. Throw a guardsman to take a bolter shot, so a space marine can blow its head off. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Basic 2K list philosophy goes like this. You want 3 to 4 units of little nothing dudes, okay? Preferably with a rule for scoring side objectives. Sticky objectives, scouts, and infiltrate are there for doing the mission. The rest of the list is built for killing. In a tanky melee build, you want a hammer anvil dynamic of a tanky unit to take hits and a damage unit to do the damage. You want a hammer anvil dynamic of a tanky unit to take hits and a damage. Okay, yeah. That makes sense to me. Yeah. Okay, we're killing it, guys. We're killing it. I don't really know if that, like, if I can objectively say we're killing it, but I feel pretty confident. Feel pretty confident saying I think I get it. Fulgrim is both tanky and damaged, and that's why he's Daddy Fulgrim, you know? Like, a Space Marine can take space, but a Guardsman with a flamethrower will take down the bunker itself. Unrelated, but I just saw a new video from Bricky titled, Can They Do It? Yes, They Catan? Is it Catan or Can? What is it about? Main channel or side channel? Must be side channel. Cathan? Where did that H come from? Also, Titus is here again. Oh, this is like stream highlights, I assume. Okay, I'll have to watch that later. Although he's bragging about living in SoCal. Ugh, God, wish I lived in California. He's been going through the new books. Well, he hasn't streamed in like, what, 6 days? Not that I'm watching, but I would like to catch him live sometime. Cathan or the Necron gods? Listen! I keep a little eye on him.
Their models look pretty good. They got some nice plastic. A few of it's a little bit older, but you don't need a huge army. So when it comes to the money side of it, not too bad. I'd say the financials for it are pretty dang solid, and I wouldn't call them an expensive army to collect, at least not from my knowledge. The Dark Eldar or the Drukhari are like Eldar cranked up to 12. They're faster, they can hit harder at some points, and they have really good melee units. Their melee units can actually...
Don't start a GoFundMe to get me to move to SoCal. What you need to do is just remember to like, comment, and subscribe, alright? And then eventually one day, I'll finally get to go live out near Joshua Tree, and I'll be so stinking happy living in the desert, and I'll get to climb on the weekends, and I'm gonna cry thinking about it. Go fund these nuts? Walnuts? Brother, pecans are out of this world in terms of price. They're like $10 a pound. Did you know that? Anyway, sorry. Don't make me think. Don't go fund these custodies. No, it's custodies fund this. Custodies fund these nuts. I don't know. Go fund custodies nuts. It took me so long to get that out. Oh, ooh, candy pecans are so good. No, don't make me think about California. It'll make me cry. I miss it so much. Although, like, I am we Voltroning shitpost now. Maybe I'm a NorCal girly. I lived in NorCal for a long time. I love the NorCal area. Central California doesn't actually exist. I don't know if you guys know this. If you live in Central California, I'm sorry, you don't. It doesn't exist. Oh, probably so much. Mean by committee. What even happens in NorCal? Lot of weed. Oof. Also San Francisco. That's NorCal. Mendocino. We got a lot of coastal redwoods up there. Fort Bragg. The 101. The 128. The 1. Oh shit, that's NorCal? Yeah, that's NorCal. Oh! Yeah, that is a cool green glow effect. Anyway, I got distracted.
Actually be really scary, but they are also doubly made of paper. They're also a lot harder to play. They're probably top 3 hardest armies to play, along with the Sisters of Battle. And that actually goes on to the Harlequins as well. Harlequins are an army that just don't collect Harlequins, if I'm being honest. They're not a great choice. They have barely any models, and they're really weird, and they have a lot of shenanigans if you want to pull them off. If you're a new player, I would not recommend Harlequins at all. Dark Eldar,
They seem so cool, though.
Speedy, made of paper, hit like absolute trucks, and not too expensive, I wouldn't say. Drukhari, I think, is a little bit more expensive than the other two, but not too pricey because you don't field a ton of units in your armies. Moving on, we got Tyranids.
Oh, bugs!
Yeah, got bugs. You gotta love those bugs. So many bugs. Now, Tyranids obviously are a horde army. It should be very obvious. They are also a melee horde army. Whoa, I know, call the presses. You are mainly spending your time in the melee phase as well as some of the psychic phase. You got a lot of good psychers in the Tyranids army, funny enough. You've got some pretty involved and advanced bugs. And your melee phase is as it seems. You have really gigantic, gargantuan creatures that eat everything alive, or you've got 40,000 little boys that eat everything alive. You do actually have some somewhat good shooting too with your Exocrine and your Hive Guard. You can put out some pretty decent shots. They are definitely the kind of army you run if you want big swaths of just these angry little running bug dudes that just swarm on your enemy. It's literally called the Tyranid Swarm. As for price-wise though, I'd say they're actually very, very expensive to collect. Their sculpts are... Some are a little bit older, but not all of them.
They look so
They're
cool.
In between when it comes to the actual
I get why
date
people are into
for their
them.
sculpts. I'd say they are a bit older, though they are expensive. They're expensive, and you're running a horde army, so that's definitely one of the top more expensive armies to collect because, come on, tons of bugs, tons of models, and older sculpts. Can be a little bit of a challenge. Gene Stealer Cults. You want to play bugs, but you want to play human bugs with scrotum heads. Gene Stealer Cults are a very new addition. Very, very new. And they run in this almost as weird as AdMech style army. They're very fast, they hit really hard, and they like dip underground, they crawl from underground, they hit you with very powerful short-range weaponry and super strong melee attack, and then they kind of run away.
Warhammer expensive means thousands of dollars, by the way. Okay, that is helpful for perspective.
Hit and run tactics. That's probably the best way to do it. Hit and run tactics.
Wait. Tyranid bullets are alive and are actually tiny Tyranids that try to eat you from the inside after you get shot? What? What? That's crazy. Whoa. Huh. Huh. Awful. Hate that. I hate that. The gun is alive? Gross. Gross. Oh.
They come out of the ground, they spook you, they do a bunch of damage, they run away, they got some weird psychic spells here and there, they run these like makeshift Mad Max trucks and stuff. They definitely have a unique play style. They deploy strangely, they like to zip around the place kind of strangely, and they definitely are one of the more unique armies there are. Would I recommend collecting them? No. They kind of fulfill a niche, but they're not that like overarchingly special, I'd say. I don't know what the word is exactly, but they are a very specific play style for a very specific player. If you're running Tyranids, you might consider doing Gene Stealer Cults, but at that point, you already kind of know what you're doing, so I don't think I recommend this to a new player. Gene Stealer Cults and Tyranids both a little bit rough to recommend to a new person because they are very expensive, both of them. And while the models for Gene Stealer Cults are definitely a lot newer and that's much nicer, they need practice. They are definitely a harder army, and I would recommend waiting on those if you're a new player. Orcs.
Okay.
Orcs. Orcs, orcs, orcs. Now, orcs. I would say
I don't know why that was so funny to me. I'm gonna watch that again, hold on. Oh my god.
They're definitely a harder army, and I would recommend waiting on those if you're a new player. Orcs. Orcs. Orcs, orcs, orcs. Now,
It's like you can see that he's trying so hard not to laugh. I wonder if that was even what he scripted himself to say or not. If he just kind of was like, all right, orcs. Orcs, 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 orcs. God. Oh.
I would say orcs are great if you like a horde army and you like having RNG dictate your life.
Thanks,
so orcs
chat.
hit
Thanks.
on 5s, as I mentioned in my last video. However, if you roll a 6, you get to make another attack with the weapon. Everything from the little pistol to the giant rocket launcher. You can have a rocket launcher that fires 3 times, and if you get lucky enough, you can have it fire 5 times. But the main thing that you're probably going to be jumping with orcs for is the giant green tide, because their melee ability is pretty humongous. They have very weird gunfire. They got their weird weapons and their strange rules, the daka rules to allow them to get all these extra shots, and they can even have some pretty dang good shooting with things like shock attack guns and daka jets and stuff. If orcs hit on 5s and shooting, they hit on like 3s in melee. Orcs love to beat the hell out of each other. So it's very obvious that once they get into melee, they'll just start pounding on you because they are really good at hitting stuff. In fact, I might be speaking a little bit too hyperbolic when I say RNG controls your life with orcs. Or RNG controls your shooting, but your melee is actually pretty dang good. They've got a special ability called Here We Go, which allows them to re-roll their charge dice, which is a very rare thing and extremely powerful buff. Getting into melee has never been easier if you're an orc. As for collecting orcs, expensive. Probably the most expensive horde army there is. Probably more expensive than Tyranids or Guard or anything in between. They have sculpts that are sometimes new, sometimes very old. You can have cool new models like Gazkul Thraka, but then you got a whole bunch of really damn old orc models because orcs have been around forever.
I also just noticed he calls them sculpts sometimes instead of minis, which is interesting.
Their codex in their own right is pretty neat, and there's some pretty good models in there, but orcs just, they're showing their age, and you need a shitload of them. And they are very expensive for that reason. So they're expensive to collect, and you need a ton to collect a good-sized army. But playing them, if you like melee with some really fun shenanigans and a bit of RNG, I can see why someone would like orcs, because they're orcs. Come on, they're great. Let's talk Necrons. So the Necrons, if I had to pick a Xenos army, I'd play Necrons.
The transparent Bricky is kind of frightening, you know?
Necrons, honestly. Necrons, I mean, they're just so cool. Undead, Egyptian, skeleton robots that carry enslaved gods into battle. How is that the coolest thing ever? So Necrons are fittingly named blah about necromancy, but not like the undead homina necromancy, but like necromancy through metal. So the way Necrons are is that they are kind of a slow-moving, at least some of their units slow-moving, gun line with some mixed-in melee units. Not all their army is melee, but their melee units that they have are actually like really scary. But for a while, Necrons are kind of slow-moving Terminator-style guys. They just blast you away at a distance with some very powerful weaponry. They kind of have Space Marine stat lines, actually. They run about as many models as Space Marines. They got similar stat lines and similar weaponry. I say that they're actually quite similar to Space Marines in the terms of how they play. But they actually do have a lot of weird shenanigans that make Necrons their own. For instance, the main thing that you might want to pick Necrons for is their reanimation protocols. Special ability that, let's say you got 10 units of your base Necron unit, warriors, for instance. You got 10 Necron warriors, your basic troop choice. Your opponent kills like, let's say 7. Kills 7 of them, you got 3 of them left. Their turn ends, your turn starts. You then roll a dice for every dead model. So 7 models, 7 dice. And for every 5 or higher, you automatically get one of your models to stand right back up. Your Necron just goes like Your vehicles regenerate health as time goes on. You have special abilities to maybe make your Necrons come back on a 4-up instead of a 5. You can reroll your 1s for it. It's all about getting your unit.
You hear a lot of horror stories of Necrons being uncomfortably fiddly/spindly models, at least the infantry. Interesting, I could see that.
It's to come back up and being like, if you're fighting Necrons, you better kill it. Because if you leave it wounded, it's going to repair itself, and that's not a very good thing. That's the idea of Necrons. They got good shooting, they got good melee, and honestly, now is a good time to be a Necron player. They are getting a massive update right now. This is right before 9th when this video is coming out. And
is that a Cathan? I bet it's a Cathan.
and they are getting huge new model ranges, a ton of just new units in general, massive updates, rule updates. Necrons are getting big additions, and I think it's going to be super great. Now is a good time to be a Necron player. The new stuff might be a little expensive to collect because it is new stuff. That being said, they're not an elite army, but I guess they can be played an elite army if they wanted to, but they don't have a few models, they don't have too many models, they're nice in between, and now is a damn good time for it. Last but not least, we have the Tau Empire. The Tau Empire is for people who want to gun their opponent down with the most sci-fi hardcore Gundam giant mech stuff you can think of. You want to have your entire enemy obliterated off the board through just the unrelenting volley of railgun shots and rail rifles and fusion blasters. You will look up and you will see missiles, giant homing missiles, blot out the sky as it rains down on your army because the Tau player's got 40,000 missile pods on all of his characters. He's got flying drones
little chuckle he does.
Fire laser sights to want them to have better accuracy, to block shots, and you know your big battle suit will be rolling up, and then a drone will come in and block a missile from it. The Tau are definitely more of an Eastern-inspired, definitely a Gundam kind of look to them, and they are just ludicrously powerful in shooting phase. And they also
unless you are
have
Commander
tons of special
Farsight,
abilities
don't
to
let your
stop
enemy get into melee as Tau.
from getting to you in the charge phase. The Tau has no melee. Their melee is straight garbage. When a Tau infantry start punching, it means they've lost. And you might think to yourself, wow, Bricky, this sounds great and aggravating. Yep, that's about right. The Tau get a lot of shit. Some of it warranted, some of it not so warranted. The models in their own right definitely don't fit very well with 40k. They're much more of a sci-fi Gundam style thing compared to a gothic.
They do still look really cool.
However, I do think they do look pretty cool in their own right. It's just kind of weird in this universe.
Yeah.
But when you've got an entire army whose whole job is to blast you away from incredible ranges across the map, and every time you even try to retaliate, they either gun you down when you try to charge, or they block your shots with drones.
They sound so annoying.
It can be pretty aggravating. That being said, there are really cool ways to play Tau, like close range attacks with cold.
But that's what we were talking about earlier with why Nyx didn't do very well, or why Nick couldn't recover from the assault that Bricky led with melee. So
Star battle suits in the Farsight enclaves, which, by the way, if you ever use a Cold Star battle suit, or a Cold Star commander, I suppose, or a...
You don't like the idea that they don't fit? I hate the idea, I don't see why all the factions should look the same. I can understand that, yeah. If there is a Tau picture there where they're fighting, they are losing because they either lost or aren't in the field of view. I like that they look so different. It should be for totally different planets and cultures. Yeah, I think they should look different, but there's also, my brain is like, yeah, there should be like slight cohesion. At the time this video was made, they were really strong. They've been coming down since then and are now manageable. I'm gonna be honest, Nick is a Tau player, but he's not too concerned about competitive gaming. He plays for entertainment and shows. Well, yeah, he does it for a game. I mean, a video. I'm not saying like a Tau player who played more competitively couldn't have beaten Bricky's strategy, but in that situation. In the lore, the Tau are similar to the Covenant from Halo. It's an alliance of Xenos, but the Tau do most of the fighting. Okay. She yearns for the forums. I do. You guys think I'm paying my mods? Y'all are really funny. Thank you, Harp. I really appreciate it. Bless you, bless you. I know you're working, so I appreciate you helping out. Well, hopefully they'll find out that they're not banned anymore. Okay, cool. You'll let them know. Thank you. No, we won't have any time to start Rogue Trader today, but how about we do it tomorrow? I'm down for that. Yeah, let's block out tomorrow for doing it. Moving that mouse around. That way we can just like sink 5 hours into it if we want. Because I mean, from everything I've seen, it looks like a game I'll really enjoy. So I think we'll probably do this, and then we might just yap a little bit about it, and then be done. Because I need to help both of my parents with something. So, I'm so excited. I get to learn more lore. And play a game and maybe smooch somebody in the game. Ooh, ooh. That would be so nice. All right. Back to Bricky.
Yavara, you have my respect. So you do have different options when it comes to Tau instead of just sit back and fire. But you definitely don't got much melee. You definitely don't got much melee. You suck at melee. But if you just want to gun people down and the only phase you care about is the shooting phase, you don't care about Psyche, you don't care about melee, you just want to blast people, Tau is definitely for you. As it comes for collecting them, their scopes are pretty good. They're not entirely super new, but they do look great. They have a whole bunch of different kinds of mechs, big and small. They got drones, big and small. They got infantry units and everything. They do look solid, high-tech, and their scopes do look nice. They're also, I'd say, not too expensive. You don't need a ton of them, and the battle suits themselves are expensive for each box, but you only need so many of them because they are very expensive when it comes to the points cost in the game. So Tower on the middle level of the expensive tier. Whew, that was a lot of talking right there. That covers it though. That is every army in 40K for you trying to figure out which army you want to play. I will reiterate. We
were so close.
Space Marines, they are the best. I know it kind of sucks for some of us, but trust me, they are the best. I would highly recommend if you're trying to get into it, get a box of intercessors, check out the rules, paint them up maybe. 9th edition is coming very, very soon. It looks extremely promising, and I think now is probably the best time to be jumping into this hobby. I want more people to be a part of this community, to be a part of this fandom. I think it is exciting. I think it has a little something for everyone, and I don't want anyone at all to not feel welcomed, not on any basis, not on basis of age, sex, gender, race. I don't give a shit, okay? I don't care who you are. I want you to at least give it a shot and be a part of this group with me because I would always love new people. And honestly, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a good time along with the rest of us. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. It was a pleasure having you here. Check out this plate in the description.
Thank you so much for making these videos, Bricky. I honestly, I can't. He's never gonna watch this, but God bless him. God, these have been life changing. These have been incredible. Oh no, Jalia, that was actually not. It didn't come off as gatekeeper. I was making a joke. I should have put a slash sarcasm. You're 3 hours behind. Okay, I guess you won't hear this for a while, but you know, it's fine. Absolutely incredible take, flawless. Yeah, very base Bricky. You love the Tau because they give everything you want from sci-fi? May hearing everyone and hearing specifically you, Honey Bun? No. I'm that's not what I heard. I heard everyone. Oh, see you later, Raven. Thank you for coming by. It was fun talking with you. But yeah, very based Bricky. Let's, what is all this? Why do I have all this open? Oh, yeah, because of our list. I think I definitely would rework my army now that I understand a little bit more. Yeah, I'll do my best to remember next time as well. Bricky should be on commission based on how many new people he has brought to the hobby. Yeah, I feel like. I do wonder, like, how many people stay in the hobby. Not saying that he has a bad retention rate or anything, but genuinely curious how many people pick up Warhammer for a little while or, like, enjoy the lore for a little while and then put it back down. And how many people, not even just coming from Bricky's videos, but in general, like, what most people, how they engage with the fandom. You know what I mean? Oh, I'll see you later, Export. It was nice to meet you. I'm sure money is a massive filter. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, one of my big things is like, this is my job. I don't make a lot of money. But you know, my hope is that I can spend a little bit of what I do make to invest in enjoying this hobby in ways that feel fun to me rather than feeling like I need to buy a full army or feeling like I need to invest a lot of money into it, because I'd like to try out different facets of it, you know? Yeah, hard to say what the retention rate is. All your friends play, so your personal experience is skewed. Yeah. Yeah, Raven, I know a lot of people have watched his videos and then dropped it. But, you know, people chasing trends is not something I'm going to get onto folks for. I don't consider people who only read books or play video games as lesser fans. It's more about being invested in the universe. Yeah. The most brutal group of minis is called a harmy / ban local. Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. Here, I'm going to move us back to here so we can yap for just a little while. Thank you so much for watching my reaction to Bricky's introduction to Warhammer armies and which one you should choose. I'm still set on the Emperor's Children personally, but I am going to be building some Warhammer minis tomorrow on Wednesday, January 14th. If you are watching this the day it is posted, you can also probably find that VOD here on YouTube if you're watching it anytime after the 14th. I hope you've enjoyed joining me on this really wonderful journey into the world of Warhammer. I'm having a great time, and I really, really like the world. Keep an eye out for more videos and more VODs from me, and I will see you next time. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh, I have a Twitch. You can find me on Twitch. You can watch me do all this stuff live and like not have a delay and chat with me and all that good jazz. I always forget to promote myself. Anyway, see you goobers later. Bye. Mwah.